So each direction, again, corresponds to those different things I was talking about, but it's all about movement. So we're constantly moving around the medicine wheel as we go throughout our lives, right? So I could be in the south maybe this morning, but maybe later this evening I'm in the north, right? So this can happen in real time. The medicine used, right, the medicines correspond to the opposite direction. So if I feel like I'm stuck in the north, the medicine is in the south, right? If I feel like I'm too structured in my life, then I need a little bit of playfulness, right? Or vice versa. If I'm being way too immature, maybe I need to be more adult-like. Right here you can see on the right, that's kind of like the space where a lot of people get stuck in the northwest. That's called the demon at the gate. So it's in between adult and adolescence. People get stuck there a lot. And so each, of course, each direction kind of corresponds to an action you can take in your life. So a lot of therapists will use this, a lot of counselors will use this in a lot of ways. Okay, so let's get on to education. Education in America, an unofficial history. Okay, notice on the right there we've got some rifles. We'll get to that soon. Okay, so I'll take you through a timeline. We're going to start in the 1500s and we're going to end up in 2025. Okay, so pre-1600s, pre-colonial education. Here comes the white man, right? You didn't think education existed before the Pilgrims got here, but it did. Education about the lands, education about how to grow food, how to, use a bow and arrow, obviously as the picture shows. Very vital kinds of education. So by 1621, teachings about the land declined by 65%. Conquistadors arrive. By 1647, Jesus has taken over as the new superintendent of the United States. In 1647, the Deluder Satan Act was passed, right? And this was basically an act that said Puritans must form kind of a school in their towns, and that readings about the scripture can save your soul. Right? So the Bible is the best textbook in a lot of ways. So we're moving on to colonial education. Okay, so before we do that, let's move back to our despacho. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around a bay leaf. So what they use in Peru is actually a coca leaf. Coca leaves are illegal here, unfortunately. Make a good tea. But cocaine. Yeah. So what you're going to do is think about your intention. Take a moment to close your eyes. Think about what do you want to say to the earth? Do you need help? Do you want to say thanks? Think about one thing that you want to put inside of your despacho, right, as an intention. You're going to take one of the bay leaves, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to think about that intention, and you're going to blow into your leaf 3 times. When you're done, I want you to put it in the center of our beginning despacho. So take one. In the middle, what they would usually put in our despacho is a llama fetus. In lieu of a llama fetus, we're going to use some chocolate. So we're going to put 1 square chocolate in the center of our despacho. You guys want to do it down there and there too. Okay. One of the first things we also do is to make a cross of sugar, usually going from north to south and from east to west. So if anybody wants to make a cross in the center of their despacho, piece of paper, that would be great.
So are we making 3 different ones?
Is our bay leaves going here, or all bay leaves going there?
Oh no, we're making 3. Yeah, for this area is going to be 1 despacho.
Okay.
You guys will be 1 despacho, and then you guys down here will be 1 despacho.
Yes, it is.
With a D. Despacho.
So we put everything. Wait, what are we doing once we
You blow it 3 times, and then you're going to put it in the center of your despacho. Yeah, preferred, yeah. Whatever you feel comfortable with. And make sure that you have a cross of sugar too. Okay, so by 1756, hornbooks are very much in vogue. Hornbooks are a really great tool for putting, scriptures on there, little lessons. And this is something that a lot of kids had in lieu of textbooks. Only $14.99 back then. Okay, I just thought that was a beautiful graphic.
What are the horns?
Just what you see right there.
They're just like.
Yeah, they would have like
They're
vital,
on a
like
stick.
be like the
That's
alphabet
little-
or like the Lord's Prayer. And this is what a child would have to be in school back then. This is really beautiful, I thought. So 1794, etiquette training is also in vogue. All right, so if you're a lady, you usually got sent away to go learn about piano, maybe how to serve fancy drinks, sew a dress. That was your education. Okay, so we're moving on to the common school period, right? So by then, a lot of agricultural operations have cropped up around the country, right? And a lot of people thought that, hey, kids should go to school and not be on the farm, right? Stop growing food, you need to learn about fractions. So the Common School movement was established in 1837. So there was kind of like this massive national law that basically every municipality had to incorporate some sort of educational operation inside their districts, right? So the statewide common school system was established. Yeah, we want to forget it. We don't want to forget about two. Not for anybody that's not white though, or male. Okay, so we're going to make the first layer of our gazpachos now. So the first layer has to do with the underworld. So we're thinking of seeds, we're thinking of things that come up from the earth. So I've got some rice, I've got some garbanzo beans, some corn. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a circular kind of motion around our gazpacho. So you're going to usually start from the north and go all the way around clockwise, okay? So, does anybody have any idea what north is? This way, okay. So starting this way, I'm going to go around clockwise, okay? So just take a little bit of a handful, and then you're just going to kind of make a circle of those objects, and we're going to build those 3 layers I was talking about. So pass those around. So this way.
Clean up our gazpacho a little bit, guys. I feel like making it into a circle.
Yeah, whatever you feel like what you want to do. It's up to you guys. I love the idea of like kind of imagining how can this be a collective intention, right? The people in this room, the people that you're making a gazpacho with, how can a gazpacho be a conversation? I think it's really interesting to me. Okay, so going back to a little bit of history, 1841, McGuffey's publishes a series of readers for children, right? And so they usually were based on the idea of ethics, right? That a child had to be good and kind, honest, and truthful, right? These are kind of the major texts used in the common school period. 1895, the brass band schools are accredited. Okay, so we're moving on to the 20th century education, age of amazing school architecture, right? So we notice here, we're going away from the colonial kind of architecture. We have very linear lines, right? So anybody have skinny windows in their school? Yeah, amazing, right? So we have some kind of angular structures here. I think it's really interesting to look at the evolution of school architecture in terms of what we're teaching kids too. Very interesting to me. Okay, so John Dewey is a communist and he's a socialist. So 1939, right, so everybody knows Dewey, right? John Dewey wrote a lot of really great educational texts. He was very much like demonized back in the 30s and 40s for his beliefs. Now celebrated. Interesting. 1941, Army recruiters are going for the youngins already. So they're in schools talking to kids. The women's rifle team makes Texas state history, right? They win the championship. School desegregation, who could forget that wonderful period? Bringing in U.S. Army troops to schools.